everybody. This is the Nexus Ag Update. I'm Chad Steinkamp, and today we're going to start our Fantasy Crop Challenge. I got a big full room in here. We got 6 people in here. We got 4 contestants. We got 2 experts. I'm going to use air quotes there. Maybe not. But we're going to get together and talk a little bit about something that we like to do at this time of the year. Talk potential corn for next year and plots, and then try to wrap it into kind of like a fantasy football thing. So let's go around the room a little bit. I'm going to start to my right. Nick, can you get close to the mic?
You betcha.
There you go. So first contestant we're going to talk to is Nick Hazelton. Why don't you give a little bit of a bio for you?
Well, I guess a little bit about me. I've been in the ag industry for the last 10, 12 years. Been in a little bit on the private side, but as far as ag retail, been in the ag retail world for about 5+ years now. Worked for a couple different areas recently, but recently joined Nexus here back in March of this year. Worked around the Marble Rock area. It's been an awesome team to be a part of, and definitely looking forward to things to come here in the future.
All right. Our second contestant is going to be Josh.
Hi, I'm Josh St. Ange. I'm out of Northwood. Been here with Nexus for 3.5 years now. I've enjoyed my time, learned a lot, and looking forward to growing more here.
All right. The guy next to me, I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Hello, everybody. Colin Nazars, agronomist out of Stacyville. Second time on the podcast, so I think I introduced myself one time before. We coming in on a year with being in Nexus here pretty quickly, so excited to be a part of this Fantasy Crop Challenge. I've been hearing all kinds of stories, and one of the last guys, Spencer, he didn't want to be here today. He was a little bit of a chicken, so
call him out early.
That's just all. That's all there is to that. So yeah, hey, excited to get going here.
Yeah. So. Unfortunately, I'm the last that remains from last year. One guy decided that it was not big enough for him anymore, so we're going to pick on him quite a bit. I'm talking to you, Spencer. I need that trophy back. So, I got our 2 expert guests on the side panel here. Adam Murray and Andy Dickus. Andy is back. He took a year hiatus last year. But he is back, so the band is back together. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves quick here, and we'll kind of get started.
I don't know if it's been a year hiatus. I think it's been probably 6 months. Did I do the first one last year, or did I do the?
No. Actually, Jeff did it. The whole let's go through that a little bit. So the day we picked today was a day Jeff was supposed to be on, but then he misread his calendar, and so then we had to scramble. I talked to Jim Egrich, our DSM on the cropland side. It didn't work in his schedule. I talked to Austin Carlson, our TA from the DeKalb side of things. And then, actually you're 5th because it was too small for Spencer to be a participant, but I was kind of groveling to him and say, hey, I need you to be the expert. You're going to move up a class. You're going to be the expert because you know everything about the whole thing, and you got to show how the rest of us how to do this. So, but then he said, well, why don't you talk to Andy about it? And then I called you, and it's like you said yes. So thank you for that.
Well, so now knowing that I'm 5th, I think I'm starting to see a trend here. If Chad can't beat him, he just gets rid of him is what I'm starting to see here. So brought in 3 young guys, and God, I hope he gets 4th. I think that would be hilarious.
I actually don't mind that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind that.
That's a good strategy. Along with Andy, Adam Murray on the Winfield United side as well, too. So I'm kind of here for nostalgia's sake, really, if anything, and help tie this to the NFL a little bit.
Yeah, so
comic relief, maybe.
Yeah, so you and I are the only 2 remaining that have done this every year.
Yeah, we're the originators.
We are the originators.
Founding fathers, actually.
So yes, we're founding fathers. We're going to go with that because to give you guys a history of why we did this or how this started. We had a sales meeting about September, August one year, and Adam was there, and Spencer and myself and Brady were all there. And you know how those stories go? It always sounds better during the night and you kind of wonder if it's a good idea or not. That's just what this was. And the next morning we kind of woke up and it's like, this doesn't sound like a bad idea. This is actually a decent idea. Let's finish workshopping it. And then we kind of built it as it was. But, it's kind of crazy what you can do with some adult beverages and libations.
Yeah, I mean, to start, I think we were just talking about football and then agronomy at the same time. It was like, why don't we marry these things together?
That's right. Well, I think the night we were doing it was like the start of the season.
Yep,
so it was like a Thursday or something. So everybody had their fantasy teams locked in, and everybody's like, oh, you got this guy, I got this guy. And it's like, well, let's see if we can do this with corn and make this interesting, because what we're going to do is we're going to build a program for a grower kind of on the level of how you build a fantasy football team. So, when we're putting together plans for our customers, we want to make sure that we got something on an early day and a midday and a late day, and then some corn and beans in there, trying to build a full package for the guy. So the way we're going to do it is going to build it like a football team. So we're going to have like brackets where we're going to put different varieties in those buckets and kind of build it from there. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a 95-day set, a 100-day set, a 105-day set, and it doesn't have to be right on 100 or 100 day or 95 or 105. It's got to be close. Within two, Andy?
Yeah, within 2 days.
Within 2 days.
We've definitely made that rule, because there's Chad's brought up a couple of times how he's been very much so burned because someone picked a 99 day and the 95 day.
Actually, I was the one that did that.
Oh yeah. Cheating. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
You ain't cheating, you're trying. So we had to come up with some ground rules at that point. So the first year was kind of a free for all. It's like we didn't have any rules, so we've kind of gone on from there. So it's going to be varieties that we have in our test plots. So we got 5 test plots around the region. We got one in Rudd, Manly. We got one in Adams, Alden, and Miltonville, Carpenter area. So we'll go off of that. And then we're also going to utilize the Winfield answer plot data too. So we got 2 in our region that we'll be utilizing. We'll be utilizing one in Owatonna because there is a couple. The 95-day set is up in Owatonna, and then the Rudd answer plot which is just west of us here, where we're sitting here in Charles City. So, so for us, that's really nice that we got a couple answer plots that are pretty regionally close. So we should have some good information there. I will be using the independent auditing service of Hulshizer, Bartz, and Weigel. For that, and to keep it completely anonymous. And I haven't talked to those 3 yet, but this is their call that they might be helping with that. So, what we'll do there is we're going to use yield or income after drying costs are taken into it. So we'll take the average of all those plots and see once where we're at for moisture and stuff too. So. And we had to put that rule in too.
A lot of rules were developed after the first season.
Yeah. I think there's amendments to a lot of stuff because of some of the crap I've tried to pull. That is true. Thank you. Thanks for verifying that. The flex, that can be anything that's within reason that we have in our plot. So anything that doesn't match in those 5 range or those other ranges can fall into that. So if we got some really early or really late numbers, or if we want to take a guess at another 105 or something like that, that's our opportunity to do that. It can be soybeans too, but you got to take into account the income that you can make off of beans. So probably not a great thing this year. Our last 2 spots are actually going to be for soybeans. They're going to be considered our quote kicker in defense. But that can be any soybean at that point. We're just going to pick 2 beans. So most of the time we pick 4 corn, 2 beans, and we'll go from there. The draft order I put together, it's going to be like a snake draft. I put myself in the last position because I'm the only returning person on this thing, and then I used a random name generator for the rest of it. So Josh, you actually got the first pick out of that. You can thank Google for that one. And then Nick is in the second place, and then Colin will be in the third, and then we're going to snake it. So will be those 4, and then we'll flip it around. So there's a little bit of that fantasy football strategy going on for this here. So I think the last thing we got to do is come. Oh, and when we're doing the picking, we want to make sure we're justifying why we're picking that number. Let's say you pick that number. Why are you picking that number? Let's go through some of the characteristics and stuff like that. And then the only thing Adam requests is to make sure that we tie it back to an NFL player.
Makes it relevant that way.
Makes it relevant, right. So I'm just about ready to give it to Adam, and we got to come up with our team names and go from there.
Yeah, that sounds good. So perfect. This is probably the hardest part of the whole day, is the team name part, which hopefully you put some thought into. So we're going to go around the room. Josh, what would be your team name?
I think I'm going to go with team name Bin Busters.
Bin Busters. All right. I can get behind that.
It's a
Nick?
good name.
Well, in keeping all my other fantasy teams that always seem to lose every year, we've had a common team name of the Corn Stars, so I feel like be irrelevant in the ag sector here. So we'll keep that one up.
Yep. Means nothing else. All right.
We're just gonna glance over that.
We're just going to move on. Colin.
Yeah, on Nick's side, I had a couple names that I think are on the ban list that I won't go with, but we can talk about those maybe in the bloopers. But I'm going to go with Hybrid Hogs for my team name.
Gonna move on from that one too.
No, I'm actually going to hit on that really fast. I do think already compared to the last couple of years, these are a lot more fun names than we've ever had. So that's nice to have some fresh names in here. Except for Chad. He's going to have an old one.
It's always best to be unique, and, that's the best thing about my team this year. That's what I'm going to go with. So.
Oh, we got the coach speak happening already.
Chad?
Diversity in genetics and all that stuff. I'm going to go with Cliff's Crew.
Is that spelled with a K on each one?
We're going to spell the crew like the Motley Crew.
Yeah, that's right. With the little dots
with
over
the
it.
dots.
Perfect.
All right.
Well, now we got the team names figured out, and now it's time to start the draft if everybody's ready. Remember, you can pick any one of these at any time. You don't have to start at 95 day. You can start at any of the maturity ranges. It's up to you. But I think first pick here is Josh in round 1. So go at it.
All right, with the first pick here, I'm going to choose 04J from Brevant. The reason I'm choosing that one, it's on its second year. Last year it did really, really well being a new first-year product. I've walked a lot of it this year out in the field, and it has looked really good. It's standing good. It has great late-season color, and the ears on it are huge. So we're looking forward to it yielding here this fall.
Yeah, looking for a repeat of last year, right? I mean, when you take a look at that one thing was all about yield all the time last year. So no surprise there is what I would say. So based off of income and ROI, I think that was a pretty good pick. What do we got? What do we got for your player comp? Who's the number one overall that you're going to take here?
So that's what I'm having trouble trying to figure out. I know it's a second-year product, so I'm trying to compare it to a second-year player that has some high upside. But I'm struggling trying to find, who that person is. But
doesn't necessarily have to be a second year player, but if you take a look at, who was drafted really high and just to be really, really high points, and he's been doing okay. What do you got here for us, Adam?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to run around. You said late season impact, right, or late season potential. So I'm trying to think of probably a running back in my mind that's been fairly new. I don't know. I mean,
what about James Cook from the Bills? He kind of came on last year. He's slow. I mean, he puts up consistent points. He's not your Saquon that's putting up 35 a game, but he's, consistently putting up 20.
Well, what about Bijan then in theory, though?
That would
also
also
a fairly good one.
That would also work too.
Bijan Robinson, and he's obviously popping off this year. He destroyed the Vikings last week, which made me very sad.
That is fair.
I mean, you look at the game this weekend. I mean, Falcons coming into playing the Panthers. I mean, Panthers kind of shut the Falcons down, but you look at the box report and you look at Bijan, still has 90-plus yards rushing. He gets 5-6 receptions, still putting on points out there for the guy in fantasy football. I mean, he's just a producer all around. I mean, he's one of those guys in my draft. I want to say he was probably the first pick in a lot of drafts out there this year. So
Yeah, it's paid off.
So we're going to go with that 04J45. Now, I was going to mention this. We probably got that in the power core in the plot, but if there is an 04J V in the plots, we'll count that towards that as well. So, if there's like a couple number, that's one of them that has both the double pro and the smarts or the first seed. Yeah, so we'll kind of add those together that way, and we can't just say, well, I'm going to take the 04J45V or the PCE, and then you can grab it. You can't do that. So if it's picked, it's picked. So
Awesome. All right, good pick one. We're on to pick two. Nick, the Corn Stars. What do we got?
Well, I'll preface this a little bit with I came from heavy from the DeKalb world, so I'm familiar with some of these other brands, but DeKalb are the ones I know a little bit better than anything. So I'm gonna probably stick on at least on the first pick with something a little more familiar to me. Be the 10533 or 10535, I guess is what's on there.
Reasons why.
I've seen it 2-3 years yield pretty high. It does have some pitfalls every once in a while, but for the most part it's a high yielder, and I think that probably the most defining characteristic on it's that beer can ear that you see from it. As far as I'm trying to think of an NFL player to compare it to. I might have to.
I'd say find a tight end or something like that.
I was even thinking like Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Just an absolute ball of muscle that, he's like a freight train running at you, and I don't know. I'm not the best NFL pick either.
And some of the pitfalls you were talking about in there, it could be. I've been watching Derrick Henry since he was in the Tennessee Titans, and part of the banter with my cousins is, he's a guy that he'll fumble the ball. He'll have a huge game, but towards the end, he'll fumble, and we saw it a couple of weeks ago. Costly fumbles, but he puts up big numbers in the box score. But yeah, some of those pitfalls could kind of be that fumbling.
I like that number just because it seems like it's pretty consistent, but you do got to kind of watch out like its root system underneath. That one can be a little bit of a struggle at times. Otherwise, but you're right. The kernel depth on that thing, that's that third dimension that Andy and those boys have been talking about for years.
Yeah, you say the roots on it, but that's kind of like looking at a supermodel and saying, her nose is just a little bit too big for me. So, although yes, that's probably if it's going to have a bad day, that's it. But it's kind of one of those things. It's like, you got to find something. So.
Yeah.
Well, if you put it in well drained ground, it's going to be fine. It's more of a just a watch.
Those areas, the water hangs.
The water hangs out.
Than others. It doesn't like the wet feet quite as much. But well drained soils, you're not going to have a problem with it.
I love it. I think the quote of the day is definitely the model one.
Yeah.
We're just starting.
It's going to be tough. I was going to say, we got time left.
We got ways to go,
that.
but so far that's at the first place. But all right, good job. All right, third pick, Colin, the Hybrid Hogs.
All right. I would say, yeah, so Josh probably took what I was going to take for my first pick, rightfully so. I'm going to stick on the DeKalb lineup here. We're going to go with 106.98. Damn. So Chad,
yes,
probably didn't hear it there. Chad's a little ticked off on that one. He probably walked the same plot I walked and was seeing some of the same things. Kind of the reason I picked that is it looked very consistent out there in the field. On that later maturity side, it was doing really well on disease, at least in the plot I walked. Looked at some drone imagery. It seemed like the plant held on pretty well. Green out there. Seemed like it had really good roots on it. Consistent ears. It wasn't the big, 105-35 type beer can ear, but ears look long, consistent throughout the field. So,
yeah, new trait platform, VT4, right? So when we start looking at it, that opens up a whole nother level of yield that we can bring in. So, second year product coming out. I think that was a good pick. I wish everybody could see, if you're not watching the video, you could see Chad just frantically going through what his next pick is going to be. So that's what you get for bringing in a fourth here, Chad, instead of three. So
yeah. I had to be fourth. Oh.
Well, I mean, you want to make it a little fun.
From a player perspective, I had a thought. You guys can correct me. I actually was thinking Puka Nacua.
That is 100% what was in my head before you said
new,
that.
A little bit different. So far he's consistent. He's not going to necessarily pop off a whole bunch, but he's always going to be good.
I mean, on the Rams side, the Rams have Cooper Kupp too. So that's
not this year, but
they don't have him anymore. But who's there? Adams? Okay. I actually took Puka Nacua as my first pick this year, and I was probably in the 7th or 8th slot. I think it was a steal of a pick personally. I mean, he's probably been my number 1 point performer so far this year. But no, that's a great comparison.
After 3 weeks, he's the 3rd best or scoring receiver in the league right now, according to fantasy anyway.
Okay.
Been good.
Just got our analytics department over here going.
Yeah, all I have on my computer screen right now is purely football stuff.
I say just fantasy football.
So just FYI. But all right, awesome. Okay, well, back to the old faithful Chad Cliff's crew.
All right.
And you get back-to-back picks, by the way, so use that smartly.
I do. I'm gonna take a flyer on something at this point because I was hoping nobody would have caught that 106.98 for this pick, but I'm going to go with a new one on the DeKalb side, 103.63 Smart Stacks Pro. Just looking at that in the plot, it looks pretty decent. It came out of the ground very fast. It looks nice. The harvestability on it looks pretty good. And they're talking like that one's supposed to have some really great yield potential. I was thinking about maybe going with 104.08, but we didn't have that in our plot. We had the 104.14, and that one I think is going to be more stable, but I'm trying to go for home runs here. So we're going to go 103.63 DeKalb.
Player, or do you want me to hit that? I have an idea for you.
Okay.
My idea actually was going to be, he's hurt, so that's fair, but Jaden Daniels. I think someone with a lot of upside potential, fairly new to the market. He's going to have, however the Commanders look over the years is going to be his challenge.
I kind of like that pick because, I mean, this one can maybe potentially cover some of your, cover a lot of the ground at that point. They're touting it as a really strong option on the corn side of things. For us, I mean, we need to have that disease package that's in there too. So that's part of the reason why I'm kind of picking that one as well.
Yeah, and I'm just going to call something out. I will never pick a Bears player today. Just want to make sure that's noted is all. I don't know if there's any Bears fans out there, but
yeah, we're fine with that.
All right.
Caleb Williams did do well.
I had him on fantasy this week, and he did okay. Yeah, he did good.
We'll take 30 points. Not a bad week.
That's true. All right, I think, that wraps up the first round. Looks like everybody did the 105-day, which is pretty consistent to normal strategy, right? But so since this is a snake draft, Chad, you are actually back on the clock.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just double-checking something because, like I said, my draft order got all messed up.
We need to buy you some time.
Yeah, I just need a second.
Andy, what do you think about the pick so far then?
I mean, it doesn't surprise you. Like you said, 105-day, and it's all big hitters, right? It's all the ones that have that top-end yield potential. So it's not surprising that's what they picked. I'm interested to see. I think I know where Chad's going to go. I'm pretty positive I know where Chad's going to go. But I'm interested to see where the other three go because, you start looking at that 100-day, not to influence you guys, but you start looking at that 100-day. There's a couple products that can be top of the list there. So,
yep. We had 110.10 in the answer plot, right?
Yes.
I'm going with that one again.
Yep. See?
So I went with that one last year. That was a big point of contention with the whole group because it was only in the answer plot, but it really rocked the world in the answer plot side of things last year. So, I mean, in that 110-day range that we have, I mean, that's going to be one of our stronger ones in that range that would on the late side around here. I mean, obviously we're not you guys plant a fair amount of that stuff or to the south of us here, but like in my area, I mean, that's silage corn. So, but if guys got a 40, let her rip.
Yeah, that one's got some high yield potential up here for sure. Being Smart Stacks gives you that below ground protection as well. So, been a product that's going to do very, very well. So, now, man, you guys, if anybody's watching the video, we got some activity going on. It's like
paper shuffle.
Yeah, it's a lot
is.
of GMs coming and getting pretty intense here. So
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I don't know what a third-year guy or something like that. That's I mean, this would be like a big tight end or something like that.
Why tight end?
Just big lumbering, gonna yield a lot, gonna score a lot of points.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't want to say Kraft from Green Bay, but I mean,
He's having a good year.
he is having a good year. I'm kind of thinking that's kind of what this thing is.
Okay.
You know, for not being a Packers fan, you sure talk a lot about him.
Yeah.
Kraft kind of stunk this weekend for me. I was getting a little excited with him these first 2 weeks. Then there was a little talk early last week. Oh, he's kind of hurt, so I'm wondering if part of that is what led him to only scoring 5 points this week. But should have maybe accepted some of those trades that I was getting offered for him because he was just playing so dang well. But we'll see.
Andy, I'm married to a Packer fan, so I mean, I can't.
By fault, you have to watch it. Is what you're telling me.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I did watch the end of
Is this
that
going to
game.
turn into a
yesterday.
relationship advice podcast?
No. So
All right. Okay. Well, you picked in the flex category, which is legal. So I'm just going to throw that out there. I think we're back to Colin now.
Yeah, so I'll go with my flex pick here. It's going to be in that 105-day range. Brevant 05D 40 or 05D4 is what I'm going to go with.
47. OD 47.
OD 47. There we go. I just left off a number. Whoops.
Yeah, when you look at the 105 day, that was the one that was kind of missing out. You know, when you take 04J, that was kind of the yield king last year, but 05D was really, really close behind it. So I was kind of wondering if you were going to bring that one in there. But yeah, high yield capabilities. You know, kind of a little bit more finickier than what 04J probably is, not as broad acres, but you know, in a plot situation, you got to pick what you're going to pick. So
I've got a player comparison here too before you guys try to steal the thunder on that.
I'm curious.
Well, I'm an Iowa State guy, so I got to go with Breece Hall on that one. I'm just a big Breece Hall fan, and you know, kind of the capabilities that he has as a player. I mean, I want to say he's probably one of the best players on that team. If they
That's
can,
not, I mean, I
it
agree.
doesn't
He's not the
take
Jets.
it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much, but I've watched that guy pop off, and you know, I think this variety has the same potential. So
The last 2 weeks, he's barely gotten the ball, though.
you just got to give the man the ball. I mean, he's asking for it. He knows that he hasn't got that big contract yet, but he's ready for it. So
weirdly, I actually kind of see Breece Hall as being somewhat similar to like a Le'Veon Bell back in the day.
I'm also a Steelers fan here too, but you know, they're both patient backs. I mean, they're not the guys that are going to run you over, but they're going to use some of their skills to kind of finick around. And
Well, as an Iowa State guy, I love the Breece Hall choice. I don't know if it's the right choice, but it's a good choice.
hey, sometimes you got to go with your heart. You know, your heart
Okay.
brings you. So
We're going to go with the heart play. Okay. From the hybrid hogs, playing with the heart. All right, I love it. Okay, well, I guess we're on to the next pick. Back to Nick with the Corn Stars. Uh-oh. And we're breaking stuff.
There we go. We're back, I think. All right, we're
Technical
good.
difficulties.
Yep, we're all right. So I guess Chad piqued my interest a little bit on those higher end numbers here. So do we? And I'm
it's a heck of a strategy, isn't it?
It's the only. It might bite you on the drying cost, but that's about
true.
that's about
true.
the only thing. So do we have 109.71 in any plot data? Yeah. I think I'm gonna run that route. Stick with my decal. I might vary from that later, but it at least I've heard it talked up really well. You know, that one is it's another kind of racehorse. It's more of a home run swing for me here. It's got really big yield potential, but it's a little more average on the disease package. But it definitely does have the top end in it. So I'm swinging for the bushels with this one here.
actually, I think it's 109.63 is what we have in, or 62.
109.62. Is that the
71.
Oh no, sorry, it's 107.69 that we have in there. But yes, we do have 109.71 in there.
okay?
I don't know anything about it, but yeah, if you say it's a high, it's a high yield with some.
It's definitely one you want to position it on better soils.
Yep.
It's not as much of a sandy ground lover, but you put it on some good dirt and she'll run for you.
So who do we got for a player that's got high potential, but might get hurt every now and then?
Christian McCaffrey would be appropriate for that, wouldn't it?
Maybe. That's not the choice I had in mind.
Well, all right, hit me with it.
Well, I mean, you can run it through choice. I actually was thinking Jamar Chase this year. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you look how he performs when that team actually has virtually no quarterback at the time, right? Very little offensive pressure, his overrun game, he just doesn't perform the way he wants to do. However, when he has those weapons, he can put up 200 yards in a game, no problem. That was my potential. But yeah.
I'm throwing him. I'm not an NFL expert by any means.
Well, I'm not either. I'm making stuff up as I go.
Well, we know Murray isn't because he's a big Viking fan. So
you are too.
I know. I'm just calling it out.
Yeah, it's painful, but that's okay. All right, awesome. Now we're back to pick one. Josh, remember you do have back-to-back picks. Keep that in mind. But the bin busters, you're on the clock.
All right, with my second pick here, I'm going to the flex category as well, and I'm going to pick S02E03 Brevant. The reason I'm choosing that one is we were down in Marion talking with the breeders about a month ago, and they said that they bred this one to yield. So it has really good yield potential. I haven't seen it too much out in the field, so I don't know too much about it other than it has really high yield potential, and that's why I chose it.
Yeah, new trait platform, power core and lists right above ground. So I know they're really excited about it, and I think it says in here key product going forward for Chad. So I think that's one of that they're really, really excited about. So again, racehorsey, here we go. What do you got for your comp there, Josh? Don't look to Adam.
I liked when we were talking before about Christian McCaffrey. I think that's a good comparison because he could be really good until he's not. So this could be potential with this corn as well. It could be really good until it's not. So
I think we get that a lot with these flexes. They're going to be these high risk, high reward numbers, and that's part of the reason why we put them in this category, because those 105s that we're looking at. I mean, all five or all of them were pretty darn impressive, but these are a little bit. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, they're going to be, when you start picking the maturity ones, they're going to be more core to your team than these are just kind of your wild cards that you'll put on that home 40 or home 80 that you're really going to manage highly and you have the ability to take out early if something bad happens. So
yeah, the one thing they like about this one is just it sounds like disease scores on it. It's pretty impressive. I mean, it's excellent on tar spot and northern corn leaf blight. Of course, they want to just see where it's at on this rust side of it, and that's a whole different game.
We don't have to worry about rust next year. Put it on the board.
Write them down.
All right. Make sure if anybody has that question, I'll make sure you get Andy Dickus' phone number for you.
Yep. I'll read it out for everybody at the end here. Before we move on to round 3, I just want to do a quick check with our other analysts for the flex picks. What's your thoughts on what you've seen so far in that category?
High risk, high reward. That's what we said. If you got an 80 that you're gonna go, that home 80 that's next to the hog barn or something like that, that's really got high yield potential and it's next to the drying bins. I mean, that's what they're going for. They're definitely playing the cards. They're listening. They're listening to the expert person here. So
who only has one win though?
Who only has one win? I'm curious to see what Spencer would say to this. We'll never know, though.
All right. We'll know. Yeah. Round 3. Josh, you're back on.
All right. So with my third pick, I'm going to go with the old tried and true 101, 33, or 35. One thing, going back to what Nick had said earlier about the 105, the one thing you can't miss is it's got that nice beer can type ear. In the plot, it's been the one to beat the last 3 years, so I'm hoping that it's going to have another good year like it has in the past. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised, honestly, that it lasted this long. I thought you guys were going to go there before you went to your flex, because there seems to be a lot more flex than there are. I mean, there's some good 100-day products, but I mean, there's definitely 2 or 3 that stick out to the top there. So, kind of surprised it made it this long. It's kind of like, I'm not going to say it. It slid in the draft like a high-profile player did this year that I figured was going to go higher.
Oh,
so.
it's not Sanders level. It's not that bad.
Player?
Comparing it to, like a tried and true. I was kind of thinking like Aaron Rodgers, a guy that's, been in the league for long enough and you just can't quite beat him out, and they keep having him on his team. So that's going to kind of be who I'm going to choose.
Can't quite get rid of him?
Can't quite get rid of him.
It's not that old, but yeah, it's good comparison.
Yeah, I was either thinking that or like a Josh Allen for the last couple of years has been the guy to beat from a quarterback perspective.
How about Daniel Jones now? They're calling Daniel Jones the
Get
next
outta here
Josh
with
Allen.
that trash.
I mean, he got taken away from those Giants, and he's on the Colts now, and he's just looking like a animal out there. I mean, they're comparing him to Josh Allen, and I mean,
to your point though, he is throwing the ball. I mean, also it kind of shows just don't play for the Giants or the Jets, and you can have a good career. Really? Maybe Browns could even be in that category, but. Yeah. All right. Well, okay. Well, good first pick on the third round. Nick, the Corn Stars.
Well, I think I might keep my DeKalb theme going here. So I'm gonna go with 102.28 for my 100 day there, just because that's a little more of a broad acre product. So it's gonna I feel like I don't have as much potential for low end there. Or I guess it may not be the highest, but it's going to come in a decent spot. So and then it's also a product that has really good harvestability as well. Stands really good late season, and it's never one you're going to be disappointed with.
So a steady Eddie, consistent player is what I'm
so
hearing, right?
who in the NFL are we not being disappointed by? I mean,
Year over year?
Year over year, someone that comes in and we're just not.
Saquon.
Well, no, I don't. He's also. I don't know.
But
more
he's
of a rock
also
star,
he also
I don't know.
was kind of going back.
I was
to the,
pretty disappointed with him yesterday. That was not the best fantasy.
I mean, he was
performance.
also part of don't play for the New York Giants. I mean, he really kind of started popping off once he was able to get away from the Giants. He played well.
Hurts. I
Go
mean,
with that.
he just wins. I mean, sometimes his stats aren't the best, but it just at the end of the day, it's like, holy crap, he had a good game.
finds a way to win.
Finds a way to win.
I like that one, Chad.
I mean,
can
he
find that.
maybe he has struggles a little bit with the below, since it is a tricepta. It doesn't have any below ground.
Yep.
But I mean, you keep on pushing away.
Here we go.
I don't like that, but I mean, it's still in the rule book right now. So, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna catch, throw a third down every once in a while and make it work. They just made it work.
Yep.
Mr. Semantics doesn't like that there's something that they're still going by the rules. Imagine that.
Love it. All right, third.
I thought we talked the other day that we're gonna pick on Spencer more than me at this thing. I mean, what didn't we decide that?
We did, but unfortunately you're in the room, and so that's what's fresh from the top of mind.
All
Say
right.
lowest hanging fruit.
I
but-
know.
Yeah, I mean Spencer's not here, so it's hard to keep doing it, but that's all right. Third pick, Hybrid Hogs, Colin.
All right, so I am missing in the 100 day set. I'm gonna go with DeKalb 098-88 VT4 Pro.
Any reasons?
This variety, what is it? Are we coming on? Will be its fourth year in the field or third? So this coming year will be its third year. I remember I had a call from that the first year that it was out there. I didn't sell it to the guy, but I went out and looked, and he was like, "Hey, how's this doing?" And I mean, before we had all the conversation about how good of dry down it is. I mean, it's probably one of the varieties you're going to be able to get out there first to. You're not going to be disappointed in the yield department. I mean, it can kind of go wherever you want to put it at this point. I mean, it's got broad acre adaptability. If a guy wants something quick dry down, he wants something that's going to yield well. I mean, it's not going to give up either of those departments. So that's the reason I'm picking that.
Starting to see a trend here in Colin's Colin's picks here. So he's got 2 VT4s and a Power Core Enlist. So he's going new traits over here. So
It can be risky sometimes.
well,
but
no, I think he's got something on there. You know, that RNAi below ground, he's not going to have any nibblers on them roots. So he's going to give him the best opportunity.
And part of this is you guys actually have to get out in the field to see this too. So you get out in the field, you take some pictures. That goes a long way with these growers.
Shots fired.
That's good. That's the kind of heat we need right there.
So I had Brees Hall as my last comparison. Got a little bit of a couple shoulder shrugs on that. So maybe we need the guy over here with ESPN pulled up to give me
your shot first, and then I'll maybe hit it from there.
So are we actually sticking to we need QBs, wide receiver,
It
tight
could be
end?
any of them.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a certain role.
Trying to think of what everybody's been picking
just pick
here.
a player.
Who's it? Seahawks wide receiver?
DK Metcalf?
No,
Oh,
he's on the
not there.
Steelers now.
Yeah, that's right.
Jackson Smith. How do you say
Njigba.
Njigba? Right there. He's the kind of guy that he makes plays happen, and they keep talking about him. Where he's a new guy. He's a newcomer. I mean, he's in his 3rd year in the league, and I mean, he finds a way to make it work. I mean, he's had some different quarterbacks in the room. He's got Sam Darnold now. So for you Vikings fans, giving up on him there.
Yep.
Happily. He finds a way to make it work, and that's all I'm going to say.
Okay, we'll take that.
I don't know how are Vikings fans feeling on McCarthy right now. Is it 50-50
Okay, hold on.
or-
I honestly don't know if I can get mad at McCarthy yet because I think the first 2 games, the line that he had to play behind was the worst thing I've ever seen. I also think they need to adjust their offensive scheme a little bit. They've been doing a lot more longer, deep balls.
Yes,
When
that's
you're
what
a
got
younger
him beat
quarterback, you got
last
to do
year.
shorter, quick decision routes and not these long developed routes. And I think he doesn't have 5 seconds to throw the ball.
That's how they lost all 4 games last year. Was they wanted this long pass?
They wanted 20, 30 yards a play.
Yeah,
And
just get the ball out because you're going against pass rushers.
and you've got the guys who can do things with it, right? So they got to adjust some of that. I mean,
They got an offensive line that's about as useful as a screen door on a submarine right now.
It helps so that
doesn't help.
their
help
their
you
big
too much.
tackle finally got back. I mean, he's been gone for almost a year, and
the O line was hurt so far the early part of the season. So I'm not out on him yet. I do say when he throws the ball, he throws it with a purpose, and he does got some. He's pretty accurate. I think he's had a couple bad throws. Don't get me wrong, but not too bad.
Well, when you wonder what your Nexus Cooperative salesmen are doing, obviously this NFL analysis brought to you by Nexus Cooperative. So
yeah.
back on.
Back on.
Shots fired.
All right.
From the analyst. All right, Chad, you're back on pick 3.
All right. I got it kind of between 2 numbers. I was thinking, Cropland 4083 or DeKalb 10213. That's a coin flip for me. I might go down the Cropland 4083 range. That one is looking pretty good in the plots. That's got the VT4, so you're going to have some below ground with the RNAi. But on productive soil, it's supposed to be really high, really good yielding. But seems like the stress levels are decent on it, but got good ear flex, so it responds well to management. So, I mean, I think that's kind of what I want to go for is that 4083 cropland.
Yeah, I think you guys, when you start looking at some of these traits that are coming off, we've got Triceptas, we've got a couple double pros, but we're going to the new traits. And so, 4083, I look forward to be comeback player of the year, honestly. Last year it had a good year, but, there's some other things that did a little bit better. But this year it looks phenomenal. So, when you're out there walking plots and seeing some of the results come in, I expect it to be our comeback player of the year for sure. So.
You have a player in mind, Chad?
So it's got to be something that's a little bit more of a comeback player. Was hurt last year.
I've got one for you.
Got one? What do you got?
I was thinking Alvin Kamara so far. He's had some challenges with that. He's flexible in terms of pass, run, screens, whatever. I think so far he's looked pretty decent this year on a team.
Was
that's not
Herbert
great.
hurt last year?
Justin Herbert?
Yeah.
No. Wow.
Was he?
I don't know.
See, I figured you're going to throw out like Aaron Rodgers or something like that.
We keep going back to Rodgers here.
I'm not a big fan.
We got to just let him go.
Yeah, we just got to get him out of the league.
Well, I would just say Burrow, but we knew what happened there,
Yeah.
so
Turf toe.
toe. Yeah. I would say maybe something like Herbert. I mean,
Okay.
same thing. I mean, just all of a sudden it's like he has 260 yards and 3 touchdowns. When did that happen?
I was gonna say he's just like that hybrid hog that just won't go away. Just
Love it. Keep the banter rolling.
So how did we do on that one, Andy?
Yeah. Mr. Professional here. What do we got?
If you're looking at it, that actually kind of it doesn't really surprise me when you start looking at the numbers. We're really starting to turn over that maturity. When we start looking at, there used to be some mainstays that are there, but now we've got a lot of new products that are coming in that maturity. And so if you've been in that maturity before and you haven't been, and it's been a couple years where you kind of maybe went a little bit later because we haven't been hurt by frost. I'm not jinxing us. I'm just saying. People are going a little bit later. We've got some products in there that are really, really high yielding with the agronomics to follow. So kind of exciting to have some new stuff in there, Chad.
If you were to look at that across the NFL, what's the position that's kind of becoming that? I mean, every position I feel like each year goes through a turnover phase. Has quarterback kind of been like the new innovation the last year or two? We've had a lot of new quarterbacks enter the league.
Yeah.
Really. Running backs, I think, are pretty consistent right now. Receivers are getting some newer, bigger ones.
Can we say kicker? I mean, look at some of these teams that they've had a couple of these teams had these kickers that you thought were going to be there forever, and I know a few of them that have been cut for off-field purposes.
Kickers?
Kickers
get into bad stuff.
If you look at the, I don't know if we should talk, but if you look at the Ravens, I mean, there's some history there. I mean, Atlanta just let go of their kicker. I mean, he was fan favorite for a while. Was it Koo or Young Ho Koo? I mean, he was a fan favorite for a little while, and they moved on with him. And I don't know. Maybe I'm off topic with that, but I don't know.
So here we are just talking about quarterbacks, and Colin comes in left field with a kicker. It's like we had so many other positions we could have gone to, but kicker was it. All right.
Yeah, I'd say quarterback a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of young guys right now.
There's a lot of turnover happening, and new names taking stage, and we've seen a lot of old names starting to get out.
Well, and then you got the Baker Mayfields of the world that just how's he 3-0?
I think Baker's pretty good.
I like Baker. I've always liked Baker.
I agree. Cool. Well, we've wrapped up round 3. Chad, with the snake draft, I think you're back on.
Yeah, I am.
Does he go with a bean?
No. God, no.
It's a ballsy move, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off.
I figured he had one more trick up his sleeve.
I'm going to go with something new that I've barely have seen. I'm going to go with the 96-day Brevant, 96M56. I'm just going off of some of the materials that Julia and the Brevant side have kind of given us. I mean, it's supposed to be quick out of the ground, but then the performance backed with some, maybe some drought tolerance in there too. It's supposed to be pretty strong on, disease and stuff. So for us around here, that's definitely a must. And stock tolerance or stress tolerance is pretty high. So we're going to go with that one. Probably keep it on your well-drained ground, but let's go with that one.
Yeah, so it's a brand new product, so I'm interested. It looks good when I walked. I still do walk some plots, Chad. I know that's surprising
that's
to you.
That's good to know.
I do still walk some plots, and it looks pretty good in them, from a plant health stay green perspective. So
I'm going to go with Lad McConkey.
I was actually just looking at that.
McConkey.
Little short thing, puts up a lot of good numbers.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Can't argue.
I mean, position rank is not the highest, but I do agree.
He's coming out. Yeah.
Well, when you need a third down, who do you go to? You go to Jod, or do you go to the big receiver, or do you go to the short sawed off white guy?
Depends. Is it like 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 3?
3rd and 8, right over the middle.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's tough.
He just wanted to say Lad McConkey is all he wanted to say.
I was kind of.
He was watching football yesterday, and he's like, "Ooh,
write that name down." That was his homework for today. Okay, moving on. Colin, you're back on.
All right, we're gonna go with a 97-day Cropland 3790 Double Pro. I know our 95-day set and our Nexus plots are pretty slim. Not a lot of history with it. I know I've sold it throughout the years, and I guess I don't ever think I could go wrong with that product. It's not the first one I'd place always, but it's always something I want to try to keep in the mix where we can see fit.
Yeah, when you look at this maturity, I mean that might be the steal of the draft there, because we're going off of yield here, so yield to moisture, and I think that one might be the steal of the draft. So
that was the one I was debating.
I thought that's for sure where you were going there, Chad.
And I almost did, but I was kind of going for new and new number. That number's been around 4 or 5 years.
Actually, that one's only I think this is the third year that we've had it around. So pretty new overall. Really, the first year was just an introductory year, so we didn't see a whole lot of it. But now it's been kind of getting everywhere. So, Adam's all smiley. He's got one. But I want to hear Colin's. Because Colin's been pretty good at this.
Is it a running back or not? No.
I have a receiver.
So, a player I really want to give some love to, should have won the Heisman in my opinion. Genty. We want to see more of him. I think he wants, if you look at some of the pressers with him, he wants to see the ball more too. And I think 3790 wouldn't mind being able to be put out in that field a little bit more often too. So I'm going to go with Alshon Genty. I would like to hear what you were going to say.
The only name I was kind of thinking of, just based on some of the characteristics, actually I was thinking about Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
Someone who could be really good again, but he kind of struggles with being on the Jets perspective. Seriously,
that'll
it's a
get
problem.
you.
But he's one of the better players on the team, other than Breece Hall, I suppose. But
And you got Lazard on that team too, so it's pretty good.
Better than Lazard, unfortunately.
I agree. Yeah.
But okay, very good. Next pick, Nick. Corn Stars.
I'm going to go with a bit of a shot in the dark here, just because I haven't seen this one yet. But I'm going to 9707. It's a Smart Stacks Pro from DeKalb.
Surprise.
I know. I'm keeping the theme. At this point. We're already in it. But that's another one that's kind of got the nice girthy ear, similar traits to 105, what we picked earlier. Good test weight. But I other than that, I don't know a whole lot more about it. But I don't. As far as or more of a fun name, I guess. But guy that probably doesn't get as much love as he needs to. But Scatterborough is a fun.
Scattaboo?
Yeah, Scatterborough. I can't remember.
I watched that guy tear up my team, and
I say he
almost
played
brought
pretty good
tears
last
to my
night.
eyes. And he's the kind of guy that just looks like a bowling ball going out there, and he's hitting a pin and just bounces right off and keeps going.
Yeah, I was watching him yesterday because Tracy Jr. got hurt in that game. I was actually watching that game, and he's a little butterball out there, and he thrives on contact.
He looks for it.
Oh,
If you watch,
I watched him last night. Literally, just put his head right into a guy's chest plate, just straightforward.
if you watch that guy, the announcers were kind of speaking about it, but he's like sitting out there talking to himself out there, like shaking his head, going all over the place. Like, what is this guy even talking about? I mean, some of the highlight reels were 50% him hitting other team and 50% him ramming to his own teammates. So, he's all about contact. So we'll see. We'll see how long he lasts here on the Giants. I hope he can have a great career. 'Cause he's kind of a football player. He's a football guy for sure.
Kind of like Spencer, just talking to himself all the time out there, right? Just kind of like
The voices in your head
voices
tell
in
you
his
certain
head,
things. Yeah,
The demons he's slaying in there.
The thing I can't get myself around is how short the guy is.
he's only 5'11".
I know, but when you make Russell Wilson look like the tall guy when in the huddle, I don't know if you saw that, but it's like he's standing next to him. He's like 3 inches shorter than him, and Russell's a short dude.
So I guess when they say girthy ear, I kind of, he's
there you go.
That's kind of the.
I like the pick.
I don't know if he's shrunk just because of the contact. He's going head first, and that's pushing his spine back a little bit to make him a little shorter, but that could be part of it too.
He might have lost a few inches over the years doing that, but not that I probably screwed up the name, but is it Scatterborough? For whatever reason, I had Scatterborough in my head. I don't know.
Close enough. We knew what you meant.
He's a bro. That's why.
Yeah.
I liked it though. That's a great pick. Okay, Josh, you're back on.
Not to put any pressure on you here, Josh, but you got one heck of a team going here, so don't screw it up.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and now the one that I was going to pick I don't see in any of our pots. I'm not sure if it's in the answer pot or not, but I was going to go with that 09621 DeKalb Tricepta. I think that's on its third year, if I'm correct. But last year it had really good data out of the plot, and it yielded good for being a 96 day. So pretty excited about that one.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look, see if it is in our answer plot, but I'll get you an answer on that by the end of it. We may have to do an addendum here. So
Surprised you didn't stick an 061 in there or something.
I'm full.
That's the thing about this. I mean, there's some strategy trying to make sure you got stuff in there, and it's got to be in a plot too. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
yeah.
Do you have any player ideas on this one?
I really do not have much for player comparison on this one.
Do we want to wait for a second, make sure that we got it in a plot before we move
I'm
on?
looking here.
What did you say for characteristics on him at a high level? Or on the
It is in the answer plot, so it's a go.
Perfect.
on your own 9621? What would you say? What did you say were the characteristics on that one?
Oh, I'd say, well, it yielded great last year. I know the one thing that we noticed is the rain kind of shut off the end of last year, and a lot of stuff died down really fast, and that seemed to keep its test weight and its yield with the way the weather was. So,
Just kept chugging along.
You know, I was just double checking what some of the characteristics were on the DeKalb side of things. I mean, those guys are pretty much giving it a 2 across everything. So I mean, 2 for stock strength, 2 for root strength, dry down.
Just
I mean,
take that out of there.
Right.
yeah.
I think it's right.
I mean, it just overall looks like a strong agronomic number.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking running back for some reason on this one. I was actually looking at like maybe, well, the 2 I was kind of choosing between, but I have a better choice. Bucky Irving, I think, might be my actual choice with this one. I was kind of looking at a Cheney, but then, yeah, there's some hurt potential. in that.
It's not a consistent one like 96-20.
But he had a good year last year.
right.
So I don't know.
I like that.
Well, let's do Bucky. I'm behind that one. Well, you're back on. Well, actually, before you move on, back to our other analyst, 95 day. What'd you learn?
That one got a little crazy. So there's some. I mean, those. We're getting a little bit early there, but that one. We're getting a little bit more flavor going through there. So it's like Chad said. This is interesting to see where people's minds go and their strategies when they're looking through. So now we get to go to the beans.
Defense and kicker. You know, it's always funny if you guys ever done fantasy draft. Those are always usually towards the end. However, I do think there is a strategy picking up a solid defense or a kicker round 6 or 7 sometimes. I like to do it even early. Because some kickers can put up points, like you said this year. I mean,
I thought you were gonna say like round 4 or 5. I was like, it's starting to sound like my wife here, Adam.
no, that's too early. There's, you know.
Oh boy, how do I don't want to come back on that one. Well, I'll say this: the beans can make or break you on
Exactly. I mean,
because I mean we've done that in the past where it's just like the beans actually saved one or the other. I mean, actually, I think that's where I've won and lost sometimes is where the beans are at. Yeah. I've done well on the corn, but I've had like a clunker of a bean number, and that did it.
yeah. Okay. Well, so for this round here, I know defense and kicker can both be used for either one. So just kind of call out which category you want it to be in, and then roll with it. So I think Josh, you back on. I think, right?
Yep. So for my first bean pick, I'm going to go in the defense category here, and I'm going to pick the Cropland 2020s.
That's a good pick.
That is a good pick. Yeah, consistency, right? I mean, you look at agronomics, you look at everything, you look at yield overall. It's got it. So, and oh, by the way, since it is a wind pack, there's some genetic diversity when you start looking at it. So there's not a whole lot of downside when we start looking at it. So, I like it.
Trying to think of a consistent defense that's good year over year. You know,
Ravens.
I would say that, but so far their stats this year are pretty terrible. Otherwise, I would agree the Ravens. Bills can be okay. Minnesota's starting to get better. They're usually a good defense the last couple of years, maybe not so much, but they're back in that.
What about the Chiefs?
Steelers?
Chiefs, no.
Defense.
Steelers?
I thought about Steelers as well, too.
If you look at the Steelers, I mean, they've been known to have the good defense. The offense just struggles, and the defense always bails them out. You look at this past weekend here, and I think the Patriots turned the ball over 4 or 5 times. and that's what it took for the Steelers to win a game by 7 points, and it was defensive performance what it really took.
I can take that. Well, okay, but let's also look at last week, and I know it was the Vikings versus Bengals. Their defense scored at least 2 touchdowns, right? A lot of forced turnovers, so your other point. So defense can win games, but we take Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, you want somebody that kind of plays both, good defense on the run and good on the pass. I would say maybe even Cleveland.
I don't know much about their defense.
Well, I mean, they get after the quarterback and they,
Well, Garrett's still on the team.
Yeah,
He is a monster.
he is.
Okay. Well, we kind of picked a lot of ones there, but that's all right. I think, Nick, you're back on now.
Before I jump into mine here a little bit, for somebody listening that maybe doesn't know what a WinPack is, I think that's a really cool concept. Been a big fan of it. I'm to explain to them a little bit of what exactly goes into that.
Yeah, so it's a 50-50 blend. So really what we're trying to do is because what we're doing there is we're trying to mitigate risk going over, because we don't treat soybeans like we do corn, right? Whereas corn, you're like, oh, this product's going on this field, and they try their best to do it. Now things happen, and that cannot happen. But with soybeans, realistically, you're selling the guy 2, maybe 3 soybeans, and it's just fill the bulk tender up, and it goes where it goes, and it is what it is. And so when you start looking at that, you're getting 2 beans over those same acres where you just put 1. So if we have white mold, for example, that would be really bad. Now we didn't see a lot of white mold this year, but in most years we would probably happen to see some. You'd have one that was potentially really good at white mold, and so 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing, right? And we know that soybeans have a very good opportunity to overcome and do some of that things, and so that's why we do what we do with the WinPack, because it's spreading your risk out. It's putting 2 beans over the same acre that you'd normally get 1.
Well, and it's something you guys have been doing for close to 20 years at this point. I mean, 2020's been in the lineup 3-4 times already, but I mean, we've had WinPacks since the early 2000s. So
yeah, it's something that we know what we're doing. It's not like we're just willy-nilly throwing them together and having something put together.
Well, and there's a lot of work that's done on that too, because I mean, you're trying to make sure you got 2 numbers that the seed size is very similar, so they don't cycle out and they stay mixed. I mean, it's there's a lot of work that goes into it.
Good dad.
Nope, that's it's one of
yeah.
those that I obviously working with them know what they are, but when people hear WinPack, them may just blow right by them. But there's actually a lot of research, a lot of time that goes into making those bean products, and for a guy who's really looking to mitigate risk on the beans, because I think on the bean side, a little less like corn, there's not necessarily one bean number that's the perfect fit for an entire field, and so you mitigate that risk with a WinPack. So, and I do all that, and then I'm gonna pick a Stein number here, but it
Boo.
I did want to at least put in a plug for that, but I'll just fill in my defense here. I'm gonna go the 2022 EG02s. And for those, I mean, they're really the main goal there. It's a higher yielding bean. It likes a little bit more drained soils. It's not a huge fan of wet feed, so a little bit sandier soils for that one. But other than that, that's my main plug for it. But it's the way Stein does their genetics is they basically just pick the highest yielding beans. So usually they're not going to be the best beans on disease scores and stuff like that, but usually they will get you get a pretty high yield out of them if the weather conditions align and you treat them accordingly.
So you're thinking of a defense that probably is good at stopping maybe the run or the pass.
We're looking for pick sixes and fumble recoveries here more so than the bend don't break.
That might be a Minnesota program, honestly. I mean, so far
You look at Brian Flores. That's his mentality. Is he's going to create chaos.
Yep.
and a lot of that's what he does, and it's good. I guess it works sometimes for sure, but it's sometimes the struggles in the run.
I'm swinging a little bit. I get a little more. I guess. Well, I probably should defensive one on the next pick, but that's going to be my little exciting one on the bean side.
Okay, I'll take it. Colin, Hybrid Hogs.
So did we settle on a player or position or a team for that?
think
is
Vikings-
last pick?
I think
Vikings
Minnesota kind of
defense?
sounds pretty
Okay.
good for that so far.
Okay. Well, I'm allowed to go to kicker before
Yeah.
defense, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with a little bit of an earlier maturity. We're going to go into that Cropland 1620E. I'm going to place that as my kicker.
I probably should have put mine as kicker, but here nor there at this point.
Chad's got the drone imagery up here from the plot. Let's move over to the 1620s. So they are 1, 2, 6th in there. Somewhere in there. I guess I don't have much reasoning on it. I just feel in our area, especially, it seems like that 1.6 to 1.7 maturity is just going to be a little bit more consistent in the yield. I'm not all hell bent on picking a higher or a 2.2 maturity. You know, I guess I have some confidence in that 1.5, 1.6 range. So that's kind of why I'm placing that.
Yeah, when you start looking at that one, you know, fully peaking, right? So when you start looking at some cysts that we need, get a little bit different look from a cyst if you got some resistance PI 88788 out there. You know, in some of those high cyst pockets, it's going to be the beam that goes out there. Good, great overall agronomically, you know, and it's got some high yield capabilities. Again, genetic diversity in the background, and so spreading that risk out a lot. I mean, that's one of our prototypical win packs when we start looking at it. So another great pick.
Well, with a kicker there, I'm going to have to go. There's two kickers in the NFL right now. I think you could say either one's better. I'm going to go with Chris Boswell as my kicker. You know, you can't really go wrong with that guy. I mean, they put him out there. Was it week 1 against the Jets there? I mean, they sent him out there. I mean, the Steelers basically just say, hey, let's just throw the ball down there and let's get in some sort of field goal range. And you know, he went out there. He's an older guy. He struggled a little bit early in his career, but they sent him out there, and he hit a career long to break the hearts of the Jets fans there. And you know, I'm sure that anytime that they see a picture of him, it's probably burnt in their memory at this point. So Chris Boswell is going to be my comparison to the 1620s there. So,
well, I have two thoughts. One, he probably did it just because he's from Steelers. Second thought, if we're going to go on that mentality, I know this is college football, but the old Iowa State kickers in Iowa, he burns their brains, I think, for years to come.
He's not in the NFL yet, so maybe in a few years he could be on this show. So
I like it. All right.
He's got to make sure he can stay healthy first. We'll go with that.
What do you got for us, Chad?
Well, he kind of sniped my 1620 because that's what I was actually thinking about doing. But you know what? I'm going to go with Brabant 194E
As your defensive kicker.
as my defense. That one's looking really nice looking in the plot. I mean, that looks like there's a lot of good branching on that one. Seems like, so I mean, for us in our area, I mean, it's going to be pretty decent on most of the diseases we're talking about. Sudden death, white mold. It's probably going to be an uptick on some of the stuff that they already have in other varieties, like a 214 or something like that. So I'm going to go with that one. Looks like that one's pretty widely adapted for what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I can't argue with it. I mean, it's the second year that we're going to see it, so it's been a really, really solid bean overall. So now what do you got for player comp?
Defense, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cleveland Browns because I like that pass rush.
Okay.
I like having defenses that can get after the quarterback with four guys.
That was a war yesterday.
I know.
I mean, just one sack after the next.
Well, but and then they got ball hawk corners too that are just got a nose for the ball. I mean that is such a fun defense to watch when you got guys can fly around and just make things difficult.
Do you have a love affection after the Vikings with Cleveland Browns? I mean, do you
Hey.
why do you hate yourself?
Wait, well
What's worse, though? I mean,
well I will say this. I mean, defensively they're great. It's their offense that stinks. I mean, they're not going to win a lot of.
Sanders in there.
I doubt that.
I don't think that'll help.
I don't think that'll help. It's kind
All right, what do we got next? What's your next pick?
I think I'm going to go with 1525 cropland. That's part of the 1620s. But I'm just going out for just full out yield because that's the high yield portion of the 1620s. actually got a farm of this at home. I can't wait to get into those things. They've been looking so nice all summer. I mean, white mold on it is pretty strong, but it's probably a little bit off. But a year like this year, probably not that big of a deal. Obviously, I'm not going to be planting this out west by Josh's area with the IDC and stuff like that. But I mean, it fits very well with what we're trying to push out there. Plus, we had it in the bin last year, so I kind of like that one.
Yeah, when I take a look at it, I mean, yeah, it's a single line, but agronomics overall, IDC maybe a little average, but white mold, and it showed a lot of high yield. And by the way, genetic diversity, because it's not going to be like every other bean that's out there. So that was a new bean last year, and we're excited about it again for this year.
From a kicker perspective, actually, if you're wanting to go that route, we kind of looked at
A kicker, I'm going to go with
Will
Will Reichert.
Will Reichert?
I'm going with Reichert.
Okay.
It's going to bomb it, but he's probably going to miss a 45-yarder. And hopefully not wide right.
All right.
Oh, you got to bring it up again, Chad. Come on.
Hey, it's hurtful, man. It's hurtful.
I can see Colin's ears smoking for this next pick.
So
He's been thinking
does that
about it.
conclude Chad's picks for the
Yeah.
draft?
Yeah.
Chad is
We're on
now
the-
signed out of the draft.
We're on the last 3 picks here, and I've been taking bad notes on what is left for Bean, so I'm hoping I pick something that hasn't been taken.
We'll tell you.
You'll get a.
Well-
The buzzer.
Throw a dart at it.
All right. We're gonna go with the Brevant 205Es.
That has not been picked.
We're gonna go with Brevant 205Es.
Just because?
Just because. No. I haven't been spending a lot of time studying. I guess this variety. I mean, I was a fan of the 1.6s, still staying away from the 2.2s. I think we're kind of in that maturity stage where it seems like, at least in our plot, they're a 2.0, but it doesn't seem like they're extending out to that late 2.2 bean. I mean, they're looking a little earlier, in my opinion. I think where we've got them placed this year, it's going to be right. I mean, it's going to be a top 3rd bean in my opinion. So that will be my kicker spot. Or
That's
no,
what
I already
defense.
took a I took a kicker, so I got a defense. Been watching a decent amount of football this year, and I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks.
That's exactly what I had picked.
Seattle Seahawks are, I mean, you look at that team year over year, and we had the 2015 Seahawks with the Legion of Boom. I mean, you look at that team now, I mean, I think they might be leading the league in interceptions this year, 5 picks. I had the game on yesterday.
Listen to those stats.
I had the game on yesterday. Had it shut off when they were up 14-0. Went and did something else. Looked, and they were just killing. I mean, they had awesome special teams. So if we're talking defense and special teams, I mean, they kind of pair together. I mean, they were scoring. They were turning the ball or getting turnovers. They were scoring on kick returns, punt returns. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's gonna be very They're very versatile, and they're gonna do what they have to do to win the game. And I think they've had some really great coaching, and they kind of want to keep that mentality. So I'm hoping, hoping Brevant 20 can kind of fill those.
Well, this might be not new. Actually, the Jaguars lead the league in interceptions this year.
What is it, like 6-5 or what is
7
it?
to 5.
Oh,
But you had 5 right. You were right there, man.
Yeah.
I was going to give it to you.
I don't know if this is from this last week's, when this updated so far.
I think the one thing you want to maybe take into account for this number is this one would be a prime candidate for a Saltro seed treatment, because this one is probably a little bit below average on the Saltro side or for the sudden death side of it, but that's a dang good option to add to it and make a poor or maybe an average sudden death bean into a well above average sudden death bean.
Absolutely.
Okay.
we've seen some good things on our Saltro trials this year too. So
Yeah.
it's a real deal. I'm sure we'll share some pictures here You might not see it in this podcast, but definitely look out one of Chad's trials he's got going.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at some of these trials. It was a perfect year for that setup. Early planted soybeans, that's when SDS is the worst, and I can tell you, we had a lot of SDS across my entire geography. So, I mean, you're seeing the benefits of doing some of the practices that we've been talking about for a while that we haven't seen the benefit. We haven't really seen any difference in, but this year you're seeing a lot of them.
So in our plot up near Adams, we actually had a treatment versus untreatment with cropland 2020s. I crap you not, every 16 rows, you can see that trial. I mean, dead as a doornail, green. Dead as a doornail, green. And I did a video on it a few weeks ago, so if you want to go take a look at that, look up on our Facebook page and you'll find it there.
Okay. Nick?
Well, I've
Corn stars?
got a little strategy here. How late am I able to go with beans?
As long as it's in a plot.
As long as it's in a
All right,
plot, you can go as late as you want.
Do you have a 27 XF3 in a plot?
We've got. Let me double
Rod?
check. I don't know if we've got the XF3. We might have the XF4. I'll check here, but you talk why you want to put that one in there.
Well, so this one's more of I combined a field of them last year, and if they weren't 8%, that whole field would have darn near gone 90 bushel, and it just they're some of the viniest beans I've ever combined, but holy cow was the yield there. So that that's again high yielding option going for bushels here.
We got it?
Just wait.
Yeah, and that XF would be the extend flex, so you're
Yeah,
going to
so
have to make sure that
that's my one difference
that-
is I'm going with the dicamba platform here instead of Enlist.
Yep, so you're going to have to definitely manage that accordingly.
XF3.
We do have it, so you may have to go a little bit farther south to see it than Rudd, but we do have it, and so that's up to you guys if you want to allow it. But that's
Thought it was Rudd specifically.
well, it's not in Rudd then. So
Okay.
Or is it not? I don't know. Did we ever decide that rule?
Well, I think we tried to keep it as close as possible because, I mean, otherwise we're kind of.
yeah, so I mean 2.4. So basically, you could go to a 2.5 outside of that. I like the pick, but
Where
I
would be
understand
the
you're going.
nearest answer?
Jessup.
Jessup.
So that's the geography I'm from down there. We
Yep.
plant a lot of mid twos. I even had growers up in the 3.1s. So that's I'm not super familiar with the 1.4s, 1.5s down in that range. So I was kind of sticking with something.
I mean, if the rest of you guys don't care, I don't care.
That's true. It's a team decision.
Yeah, I'm fine with it, I guess.
Yeah, we'll let it slide.
Okay. And if you win, there'll be an asterisk next
Yes,
to it.
that's right. We'll make sure we remind that.
Perfect.
Yep.
Josh, last pick of the draft.
There you go.
All right, with the last pick here, I'm gonna pick the Brevant 155s, and that's a new bean in Brevant's portfolio this year. So, be curious to see kind of how they do.
Yeah, brand new bean. So, when you take a look agronomically overall, it checks a lot of the boxes. It is a Peking as well. So when we start looking at B155E, it's funny. I was doing some pre podcast notes, and that's one I wrote down because I figured that it was going to get picked when we start looking at it overall. So exciting to see what that one looks like when we start looking at it. So I mean, what player? We'll do player comp. We didn't do player comp for yours. All right, Nick.
Maybe.
So Nick will do player comp for yours, and then Josh will do one for yours, and then I've got. That's intriguing.
I mean, I don't know how we pick a kicker very well. Something you kind of know.
Big leg.
Well, that would have been the old
Think big leg. That's what.
Tucker Carlson big.
Well, you got Brandon Aubrey over there with the Cowboys. He's got a big leg
Yeah,
on him
that's
he
too.
does.
I mean, I heard rumors that he was going to be the first $100 million kicker, but I think that was fake news. So I really don't believe it. Jerry Jones just got rid of one of his best defensive players, and now he's going to sign up a big contract for a huge huge kicker contract, which I think was fake. I didn't see any.
I mean,
Any real
that might be
facts.
the most Jerry Jones thing ever, though. Too.
That it really could be. So I believed it. I didn't ask ChatGPT or anything, but
keep that in mind. That was just in the streets in Stacyville that he heard that. That was that was some mumblies in the streets.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if your entire game plan is to win on field, if your entire game plan is to win on field goals, I suppose
I mean, that's kind of their best offense if you think about it.
Well, you just got to get past the 50.
Yeah, that's a struggle for the Cowboys sometimes
it
too.
is.
So
They need to get rid of their Dak Prescott, and I think they could be a little better.
that'd be a start. That'd be a start.
What about player comp for Josh's last one?
What do you think?
Well, we've already picked all the good kickers, so I'm not sure who's.
I'd say Dicker the kicker.
Yeah,
Yep.
Cameron Dicker.
Yep, that'll work. Dicker the kicker.
Just because it's fun.
Just because it's fun. Exactly.
I can get behind that. Okay, well, my analyst over here, we got two things I want you to review. This last round, what was your thoughts in terms of that was mostly kickers pick, but
I mean, Nick definitely sticks out there. So everyone else went 1-5, 1-6, and he went 2-7. So we'll see if it pays off. I mean, Nick is definitely. Here's what I'll say: if it's a maturity play and later maturities do better, Nick's gonna be better. Or this could really bite you in the ass. It'll just depend what's happening here. But
Let's hope there's no frost.
Right.
yeah. So otherwise,
We're
everyone
either
else.
making the game-winning field goal, or we're missing it wide right.
Yeah.
Too.
double doink out.
Yeah, so I mean that last round, everyone kind of went the same, but Nick went way out there.
That was my wild card strategy.
Overall, as I'm looking at the teams, I was kind of saying Josh was setting up pretty nice to have a good round. It's all going to depend on the maturity in the soybeans. He picked some really, really good ones. Colin has got a sneaky good team here too. When you start looking at it, he picked a lot of ET4s, a lot of new products. Chad, I'm gonna say it's gonna be between Josh and Colin is what I'm gonna say. But Chad and Nick, I mean, you've got some wild cards in there. Nick has the biggest wild card for sure. That's usually a Chad move. So I'm interested to see how this works out. But I like Josh's team and I like Colin's team. So. That's just one guy's opinion.
Are we missing anything that maybe you thought that would have been on the board?
Oh, no, you would ask me that.
We ask that every year.
I know. So, I mean, that's so hard. When you start getting at the 110, you get that flex pick. There's so many ways that you could go there. I'm glad to see that Colin brought in the 05D. When we start looking at that one, there's some that came in overall. When you start looking, 105 day, we've got one there. I know that DeKalb's got a couple new products in that 100-day maturity that we'll see where they lay out overall. Brevant's bringing in a lot of strong candidates, especially when you start getting in that 108 and a little bit later for some of those high yield stuff. So, there's probably 3 or 4 products that you need, but for the core, I would say you probably hit them pretty close.
There's a couple of them I thought maybe we'd see on there, like 01X44 Brevant. I mean, that's kind of one I thought could maybe be there. 10213. I mean, it's good corn. I mean, that's more of a field situation. But
well, and that's what when you start looking at them, you guys understood the assignment for sure. I mean, 01X44. That's a steady consistent. It may not win the plot, but it's going to be a fence row to fence row type. 4024 croplands the same way. 10213 is the same way. 03H is the same way. You could go up and down this whole thing. 06Y is
the one
in there.
number I thought maybe on the DeKalb side, maybe that 10363. That was not picked, but
You picked it. It's
Or
on
did
your
I?
team.
Oh, I did. Never mind.
That was your first pick.
Yeah, it would help if I read my notes. Never mind. I'm not going to go with that one.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, when you start looking at it, I think you guys did a pretty good job overall. You understood the assignment. Now, that, like I said, they understood the assignment. So if they recommend some products to you that they didn't pick, and you guys are going to reference this podcast back to them, it's probably because they knew that they're going for high yield here, right, overall. So they're going for a number when they start looking at it. But there's some products, like I said, 98Z is a really good product, 4024. That they're just really good, solid products, but they're going to be in the top 5, maybe not top 3, right?
The other part I like about this assignment, the way we're doing it, is there's going to be some times where we maybe don't get what we want, you know. And this is also kind of to say, well, listen, there's other products that we feel comfortable in these situations. I mean, we all know at times that supply can be kind of a challenge, especially with the new stuff.
So Chad, I wanted to put it to you. I don't think, unless I missed it, I don't think we have any LG on the board here.
No, we
I
don't.
think we're missing our main LG guy.
Yeah, well, Brady was kind of our main LG guy on that side. The way we're looking at it is, I think the answer plot part element does kind of play into our strategy at that point. Because, I mean, that's not going to be in the answer plot. It's going to be in our plots. And one of the numbers I thought about maybe going with was, obviously their core of their stuff is kind of that 100 to 101 day. 51C62 would have been a good one to kind of do in that 101 day. I thought about that when because I kind of came down to the 40 or the 4083 crop plan. But 48C87, I mean, that's a strong number as well. So I mean, in that range, and then that 53C44, which is a little bit on the newer side of things on a 103 day, that would have been a good option for a guy in that 100 to 103 day or 105 day range. I mean, you got anything else on that, Colin?
Yeah, actually, I had that LG 51C62 wrote down in my notes there. It was just too hard for me to pass up on 0988. I mean, it's when I'm talking decal with a guy, and we're talking field history, and just we want something out there that I'm confident in. I mean, that's where I was going. If 0988 would have been taken before, I probably would have moved to that 51C62. So I think that would have been a great other option there. I want to say that one's going to be on the LG side. I mean, I want to say in Minnesota was probably one or two most sought after products this year, and I'm assuming going forward that's going to be the same story. So excited to see how that does yield out in our plots. Maybe we'll all have a little bit of regret not going with some LG.
I say, did we have any Zatavo beans either? Did we have a Zatavo number?
No, we didn't. One thing I will say on that, we got one number in the plot that's really, really green. It looks like it's mismarked. I mean, it looks like it's like a 1.7, but it looks like it's a 2.4. But
and that 1.7, I mean, it's green. I mean, both our plots. So there was a little concern there. Did we mess it up? And I mean, I did help with both plots, but there was 6 of them.
So it got messed up.
So no, I think we're good, but we've got some interesting drone imagery of that. So
yeah, and right now, I mean, there's some potential with them because I mean they do have their was it Nemosphere, yeah. So I mean they'll have a GM trade for cyst nematodes at that point, so that's kind of interesting. But right now, I mean, in our geography, where the 2.0-2.1 range, I mean, there's nothing unique versus the Stein or anybody else at that point. So it's good stuff. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but all that material is out there for other companies.
Cool.
There was a comment that was going to be made when we brought up LG. He was kind of smiling, looking into the mic, so I was kind of curious what he was going to cock off.
I was going to say something about Brady, but I just left it be, so I let that one go.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I will say back to the LG, though, I mean, it does have some unique genetics. I mean, they have their own breeding program. So, I mean, that's, compared to the rest of them, I mean, they're one of the breeders that are out there. So, I mean, that's one thing I will say on our side. We do have access to pretty much everybody that is breeding corn, their germplasm. Because, I mean, we got the, Corteva through Brevant. We got Bayer through DeKalb, obviously. And then, the Ag-Reliant stuff through the LG side of things. So, anything we're missing, Adam?
I don't think so. I don't know, maybe a quick summary. What do we think we'll see this fall? A quick 2-sentence blurb on that.
Yeah. One thing I will say is, we're at the end of September. There are a lot of fields starting to kind of get to that point. I would say start early and start often and get going. I don't think this corn's going to last long because it seems like in our area here we've seen a lot of southern rust kind of come through. So let's make sure that we grab this corn as quickly as possible, especially if it was didn't get any fungicide on it or even a one pass. There's plenty of corn out there that looks pretty rough even after one pass. So go get it. Don't wait until 18% and it's falling sideways. Let's capture that stuff before we lose our phantom yield loss.
It's a lot more fun combining corn or combining in general when it's 80 degrees outside instead of 10 below zero and snow. So that's go when you can.
I agree. I mean, I don't have too much to add on my side. That's some famous lines in the corporate world. Nothing on my end, guys. So.
Just thumbs up from Josh. All right. So as time goes on, we'll get our plots out there. We'll try to get our information out to everybody as well on the grower side of things. We'll usually get them out someplace. We'll get together again with this group here, and we'll see if I might bring in Jeff the next time, Andy, and we'll see what he thinks on our picks and see what he thought of your analysis, I guess.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll just continue to be treated like the redheaded stepchild. So.
Oh, good.
Pick 5, remember, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll go from there. I want to thank everybody coming in today. I want to thank Adam and Andy. I appreciate the help and the effort, and I know you guys always look forward to this. I mean, I think I talk to Murray maybe 2 times a year, and it's usually about 2 weeks or 3 weeks before this, and then the rest of the year we don't talk. So
Sounds about right.
It sounds about right. So, but I appreciate you guys coming in. So. Great thing. I appreciate you guys, Colin and Josh and Nick coming in. I know that they probably didn't know what the heck we're doing, but that's the fun in it.
I say we figured it out.
You figured it out.
It was fun.
Yeah. So I appreciate you guys coming in at that point, being good sports on this, and we'll see if we have some bragging rights to hang over each other, in December or something like that. Otherwise, from there. We're going to just kind of close out for now, and then, like I said, maybe another month or two, once we get plot data in, we'll get together and kind of go from there. So I'm going to kind of shoot out the outro. Where can you find this? Well, anywhere you can get your podcasts is where you can find this. Apple, Spotify, and then we do have a player on our website at www.nexus.coop/podcast. It's on the big screen. Otherwise, get in contact with us through our social media side of things: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. There's usually some good videos on there on the Facebook side of things from different things. I should do one on Southern Rust sometime, but we'll see how things go there on that. Otherwise, everybody have a safe fall, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.